the longest time I've been bulking up old hard drives for my backups, and I'm constantly getting annoyed with the 1TB drive in my Mac, and I've been really interested in this NAS because it really has some features that make it go a little further, from its HDMI port on the back to its built-in App Store, and even 2 hidden NVMe slots on the bottom. Yeah, there really isn't much left off here. And to add a little more to the confusion, it comes from UGREEN. It's called the DXP4800 Plus, and for me, it's redefined what a NAS is for use in the office. And it probably will for you too, because this isn't just basic storage. It's taken me by surprise. So first off, the basic stuff. In the box, you get the NAS itself, a power cord, and 2 Ethernet cables. We went with 4 4TB Iron Wolf drives, and these snap in basically toolless. Now, we'd usually go with SSDs in a NAS, but we'll tell you why we didn't a little bit later. After the 4 drives were installed, you basically plug it into power, hook up the Ethernet, power it on, punch in the IP address on a laptop or computer, and you're good to go. So in our setup in the studio, we've got 4 bays with big spinning drives. But then flipping the device over shows you the hidden compartment where you can install 2 NVMe drives, as well as upgrading the RAM if you want. This is a little bit of a game changer, and the first time I've ever seen a setup like this on a consumer NAS. The whole point here is so that you can keep your bulk storage cheap using hard drives, and any active projects that you're working on can then live on that NVMe for a faster response time and a better editing experience. When you drop in an NVMe drive, you get a couple of options when setting it up. You can either use it as a completely separate pool for your separate projects, or you can use it as a cache to speed up your main storage pool. So what sort of speeds are we looking at? Now, I wanted to test an internal transfer, meaning no network involved. So for this, I plugged in an SSD over USB-C into the front, and pushing this straight to the NVMe drive hit 582 megabytes a second, which converts to about 4.5 gig a second. Now we're talking. But to my surprise, even the HDDs weren't a slouch at all. Using the same USB-C file transfer test, we managed to hit 382 megabytes a second, which is about 3000 Mbps. Still really impressive. Now, as is the case with any NAS, with it on the network, it shows up to all of your computers. But not only that, because this device has an SD card slot on the front and an abundance of USB-C and Type A ports, using these also mounts these to your computer. So basically, if you plug an SD card into this NAS, it shows up on your computer, as well as inside of the NAS itself, which is nuts, turning an SD card into a mountable drive, just by plugging it in over the network. And with this I/O2 with inside the OS of the UGREEN NAS, you can pull things directly from an SD card, for example, or external storage, and dump them directly onto the NAS, bypassing any network bottlenecks that you may have, and we'll come on to that a bit later. All of this makes it great for our workflow in the office, because we use SD cards for our cameras, so we can directly import these to the bulk storage, and then even edit with projects directly from the NVMe. We did some tests over Premiere, and it worked like I was directly editing off my laptop's internal drive. It was slightly more responsive using the NVMe as our cache for Premiere, but the hard drives, yeah, they were okay too. I was able to scrub around with the playhead inside of Premiere, no problem at all. And this was over Wi-Fi. But let's address the elephant in the room: actual network access. The 10 gigabit Ethernet port on the back is perfect for us, but there's 2. So if at the moment you don't own a switch that supports Ethernet over 10G, you could aggregate 2 of the ports at 1G, doubling your speed to 2. Even if you're not wired for 10 gig network speeds on your laptop or computer, a 2.5 gig adapter also makes all the difference. For our main hard drive storage pool, I tested a 22 gigabyte file on a standard 1 gig adapter into my laptop. It maxed out the adapter and took 3 minutes and 23 seconds. That same file, but using a 2.5G adapter, that's 22 gig in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Again, maxing out the 2.5G adapter here. So even with the device filled with 4TB hard drives, the bottleneck here in our scenario was still my 2.5 gig adapter. I think it's time for a bit of a network upgrade soon. Under the hood, you've got a modern 12th gen Intel chip, 5 cores, 6 threads. It's perfect for Plex, Docker, or even spinning up a Minecraft server. But for me, what really stood out was the boot up time, which took 40 seconds from plugging in the power cord, which is really respectable through all the NASes we've tested. When we added the NVMe's on the bottom, we also noticed that the RAM is user upgradable too. Now, RAM in a NAS is great for caching, meaning it can speed up your file transfers even if you're using hard drives, so it's great to see that the users can upgrade this to suit their needs. One thing I would like to mention is that this device has an app store where you can install things like Home Assistant. So at this point, not only is this a NAS with SSDs and HDDs, it can also run your smart home and a whole host of other stuff as well. And the comments are always full of, Alex, you need to check out Home Assistant and implement it into your smart home. So this is a great starting point for me, and I'm so happy about that. At the moment, I'm using the Home Assistant to pull my Unify Protect cameras straight into Apple HomeKit. But this is as far as I've got with Home Assistant so far, because it is a bit of a learning curve and I've definitely got some playing around to do over the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about. The phone app is also solid too. You can browse files, share massive videos with a quick link, and even stream movies or music to your phone or tablet, even when you're away from home, and it's really nicely laid out. Now, that HDMI port on the back, plug it into your TV or a spare monitor and you've got yourself a little mini streaming box. It's not like you can plug a mouse and keyboard directly into the NAS and use its OS over the HDMI port. That's not what it's for. Basically, what you can do is within the actual mobile app, you can play back video files, but then there's also a cast button in the top corner where you can send that file to anything else connected to your network, even that HDMI port on the back of the device. This could be a great way to breathe some old life in what could be an older TV set that doesn't have any smart or network features. For the actual device itself, as far as NASes go, I think this thing looks absolutely fantastic. I love its modern, sleek aesthetic design. The actual device itself, when filled with HDDs, obviously has a fair amount of weight to it, but it has a metal enclosure too, which I think adds to its great aesthetic. On a desk or on your sideboard, it really doesn't look out of place. So all in all, I'm really impressed with this device. Not only are you getting a massive hard drive storage pool, but you're getting an NVMe storage pool too for all the projects that you're currently working on. You're also getting the ability to add devices to this like SD cards or hard drives over USB-C or USB-A that will mount over your network to any device on the network. Elements of it are user upgradable and it comes with 10 gig networking to boot and even has a great OS that can be anything you want it to be. From its great design to features that I really wasn't even expecting to be able to play with, I really do think that this NAS is great value for money. And it's also worth noting right now that with Prime Day you can bag 15% off the DXP4800 Plus, which saves you quite a bit of money on top of the already decent price. Now, I'm going to go and play with Home Assistant. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.